When I first learned what the Mershon Center was, it was a house. You go through this alleyway over here. It was on the corner of the alley and 10th. Actually, I think it was 2 houses. And they were connected. And it was a labyrinth, not like this. It wasn't this nice. And, you know, people had different bedrooms and this and that for different places. And I first came across Beth when she was working for Chad Alger, which it was already at the university 10 years before that, as I understand, in physics and ag econ, which is way before my time. But in Mershon, the thing that's been most remarkable and that made easy for me is that Beth is not only very competent, she works easily with lots of different kinds of people. Dieter's right. Mershon as an entity and as an idea has been continuous. But in the time I've been here, it has, you know, it reflects the people who are in it. And they change. And the cultures in it change. And it's a very different kind of community. And Beth has weathered that. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, so good, actually. When she's worked for 2 people closely, Chad Alger and Alan Millett. You know, almost Bobbsey twins, right? In every way. You know, actually, you don't know any of these people. That you couldn't imagine 2 more difficult. Freudian slip there. People imaginable to work with, and I owe Beth a real apology. She'll be glad that she's retired in this room, because many, many times she'd come to me seeking relief, usually from one of those 2, not the other one. And she didn't really get it very often, because often at Mershon we're dealing with very successful professors who sometimes don't always behave exactly the way you'd like them to. and Beth sort of had to catch the brunt of that from time to time, and I'm forever appreciative of that. She's written 3 volumes, typed anyway, 3 volumes, much of it in Korean for one of those 2 professors. But she began working on a project that was really called Think Global, Act Local. It became a worldwide slogan, but it started here. Chad Alger invented that notion. And it was a movement out of here to connect people across cities, sister cities of the world. Chad was at the time president of the International Studies Association and had this idea that we shouldn't focus on nation states, we should focus on cities. And the first person he picked up to do that and then to connect cities was Beth. And Beth worked with that, as far as I knew, when Chuck Herrmann was the director of Mershon at that time. And Mershon at that time had a very different culture. It was a family. In fact, I think it was hard to get into that group if you weren't part of the family. That was one of its great assets and also one of its limitations. And like all families, there were Christmas parties and gift exchanges and a director who was the grandfather of everyone else and a grandmother too was there. And also the bad sides of families. A lot of infighting, a lot of bickering from time to time, a lot of jealousies and envies. And all that, of course, has now been gone. And Beth came over to the new Mershon building that you're all familiar with. The only thing that remains of the old house are the stained glass windows, or a few pieces of it, which we hang in the atrium area of Mershon. If you're over, you'll see that's what those are. It's a student dormitory now. That's where Mershon used to be. The switch, though, from working for Chad Alger for Alan Millett. Alan Millett was in charge of our military program, something we used to call PISMA. And Beth was sort of the engine behind PISMA, and it's all things war. So from Think Global, Act Local, Sisters of the World Unite among cities, it was all about war all the time. And with Alan, who's a Marine, and a professor of history in Korea. Now, the upside of that job was you got to meet an awful lot of nice military research associates over the years. I think a lot of them stay close to us and to you, and I know that they enjoyed their time at Mershon largely because of you and your ability to integrate them into the rest of that family. There was a time then when Ned LeBeau came and was director of the center. Again, a very different culture, and Beth was an important part of the center during all that. And then for me, when I came not too long ago, it was great that I had both Ann and Beth there, and I didn't have to learn how to do anything, to train anyone else how to do anything. And we sort of created a different culture after Ned left, quite different than when he was there. So it's a long-winded way of saying one of the things I appreciate most about Beth is I can always count on her to help us no matter what. the situation was at Mershon. So I could go on and on about all of the other attributes, how she knows how to move 100 W's, is that what they're called? And I didn't even need to know. All I needed to say is, we're having these people come, make it right. And Beth would then remind me, no, we have to have flowers. Big ones! Beth, it's been great having you working for us. I don't know what we're going to do without you. We're going to try a whole different structure of support at Mershon, but I don't know how it'll work. I'll miss you.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I have really enjoyed working at Mershon, and I feel really fortunate that I did have Chad and Alan Millett, because it taught me what I needed to know about the world. We have people that want peace, we have people that need to pursue the goals of war, such as they are in this time. And it's been really, I feel really lucky that I've been able to see both points of view. And we've had some wonderful people at Mershon. The military people that have come through have been fabulous, and I've enjoyed my time there, and thank you.